Welcome everybody to Sunday's live in the group Intuitive Minds. Already know if you're new to the group and you're just scrolling and you're on here, I am Tanya Tomasevich, and this is a group created for like-minded people curious about this kind of lifestyle, and just if they want to feel better about themselves and a little guidance in how to navigate through just through life. And you don't have to be practicing a spiritual lifestyle to watch these videos or comment. It's basically, hey, this seems really interesting. I'm just gonna watch her for a while, all right? So that's what we do here. It's a safe space. It's free if you know somebody that is like-minded like all of us that watch this every time I go live. Please give them, because I don't think you can share it. It is a private group, but if you if they send me a friend request or a request to join the group, then I can accept that. So we are going to finish up the third part of the book that we've been working on. And look at, oh, hold on, folks. I think I want to change this so that you guys can see it. That is not what I want. How did I do this before? 1 second. Oh, darn. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this will help. It's just goofy because I'm so not with it. Like, I'm turning my head to the right, but for you guys, it looks weird. So anyways, we are working out of this book, the Self Love Workbook. I got it on Amazon for like $20, and I actually started it. Don't remember when, but I wrote down second attempt. I think I bought this like 2 or 3 years ago. It's very in detail. It's very depth. It has lots of good homework and stuff to do for it. So we are on the last part of, I believe, the chapter Self-Respect, which I think is chapter 7. I'm just gonna look at the table of contents here just to make sure. So this was a lengthy chapter. And chapter 8 is even more lengthy. I'll show you. Can you guys see it? Look at that. Chapter 7 and now chapter 8. So if chapter 7 took us 3 weeks, chapter 8 might take us 4 or 5, depending on how chatty I get. And I want to pull cards. I want to pull cards tonight. So a couple things that I did. I cleansed the area. That's what I do. I asked for my spirit guides to come in. I ask the universe to allow me to be a conduit for the messages, because we are going to pull cards. And when we start doing this kind of stuff, there are like messages and information that come through. It's not always about the intuition that comes through. Isn't always about like, oh, like what the person, a certain person. It can be like collectively of what needs to be told. It's like information. So I'm just as surprised about that, because I've been watching more people on YouTube and their abilities are channeling into, say, more of like what more is out there, like the reptilians and more like extraterrestrial, like people that they can communicate. So that's a whole nother live. But that's really interesting. If you want to deep dive on that, it's Elizabeth April on YouTube, and she's fantastic. We watched, she calls it like the Galactic Federation, so we could go very deep into that. The oils that I use tonight are lemongrass. Oops, this is so crazy. I'll never get used to this. Okay, lemongrass. What is this one? This one's lavender. Just a couple drops. And then I did like double the drops of vetiver. Okay, so it's like a kind of a, you can definitely smell like the citrus, but it's more grounded, like a grounded citrus. Kind of like a dirty citrus almost. Like dirt. It's really, I like doing different kinds of essential oils. All right. So we will get to the last part of self-respect, which is we talked a lot about the boundaries. So I have notes. They're all, I'm going to be jumping around because we didn't do it last Sunday and I'm off. So I'm going to try to recap and try to remember what we talked about 2 weeks ago. Okay. Any questions? All right. Let's just get in. What I want to do first is there has been a lot of people that are close to me that are coming out and coming to me with signs and symptoms. And if you haven't figured it out already, folks, we are in a very different time. There are things that all of us are going to be new to experiencing. And you're going to come, there's going to become to a point where you're going to have to choose which side you want to be on. And you don't have to be spiritual to decide. It's beyond, it's going to go beyond a practicing faith. It's going to come right down to like deciding, do you believe in this stuff? Do you believe that we're all connected? Do you believe that there is a light force that we are all part of, that we all came from? It's going to be a matter of deciding what side of that team do you want to be on. You want to be on the light side, or do you want to be on the dark side? And part of the problem is there's going to be folks out there that are new to this kind of belief and principles and lifestyle. And so they're going to kind of be not on the dark, but they're going to be in the dark because a lot of stuff is going to be coming at them so full force, and they're going to be looking for trustworthy individuals. So if you are already practicing and you're on board that positivity light train, get prepared for your friends and family, or possibly total strangers that you're going to come into contact that are going to need your help. And it's eventually going to be where they're going to need our help on demand. My husband and I have been kind of getting more and more downloads, and our intuition is really ramping up. So be prepared and be willing to help those folks out that maybe are skeptic, and maybe they just need somebody to talk to about what exactly is going on with them, and you can give them a little hope and a little peace that you're not going crazy. You're not being abducted by aliens, you know, you're not experiencing things that you're not supposed to be experiencing. You are experiencing everything for a reason. There's a massive shift in the atmosphere and a massive shift in the whole universe, the energy. It is coming. We cannot resist it. And has really, you kind of got to really unpack it, you know, if you really want to understand the difference, because some of it has zero to do with religion. It's just a matter of, yeah, like there's something out there. There's a higher source, and we all come from it. And eventually it's going to come down to deciding what team, you know, you want to be on, you know. I'm going to stop there because we're going to talk. I just wanted to let everybody know that just to be really self-aware and just to get your water in and get the rest, because this energy is going to be coming through all of us, even if we are ready for it or not. So get your water in and get your rest, and just be really mindful of things that come through. We are still experiencing the last hurrah, or the last peak of the Lion's Gate portal. And if you don't know what that is, Google it. Or I did a live here on Tuesday regarding like the peak day of it. All right. So having that said, I know there's a lot of signs and symptoms that are coming through. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys how you can come to your center and how you can bring forth that energy that I am talking about, because we are all connected and we all have an energy that we cannot see, but it's part of us. It carries with us. We were born with it. We were born with it in our previous lives. And from the day we were created, our soul was created. We carry this energy with us every day. And we can utilize it. Take advantage of the energy, folks. It is yours. It's yours to work with, you know? And there's things that you can do in your everyday life just by, I say tapping into your energy. So that's what we're going to do here. So what I want you to do, guys, is I want you to take a couple deep breaths. Get your hands. And why we're rubbing our hands together is we have the left brain, right brain. And this neutralizes everything. This neutralizes the critical part of the brain and the creative part of the brain. It neutralizes and the masculine side and the feminine side. So it's just basically centering and kind of balancing the energies out so that it flows better. Okay. Once you get them hot, I want you to kind of pull your hands apart and just, maybe you could, if you can't feel it right away, just close your eyes and just allow it to come forward. Now where I feel it is I feel it right down here in the bottom of my palms. Get rid of this. There. Hello, Lorena. Hello, Amanda. Sorry, I didn't say hello before. I had some other prompt up. But what we're going to do is, if you have any aches and pains, think of the pain. Think of what it is. If it's like a pinching or an ache or a wound, a cut, maybe you're healing from a surgery or an injury. Give that pain a word or several words, okay? And then go to that body part, okay? And I want you to imagine that you're kind of, think of like a metaphorical vacuum. And, or if you don't want to be that aggressive, you can like just peacefully place that pain inside this ball. I want instant results. So I would picture a vacuum. And so you're going to put that pain, now that you're at that body part, you're going to suck that pain and you're going to, or imagine that pain is going into this ball. And maybe it's not a physical pain, but maybe it's grief. Maybe you have heartache. Maybe you've been disappointed, or you have shame or blame or doubt, or you have a question in mind. Maybe you made a mistake. Just whatever pain or negative issues you're dealing with right now, I want you to put it all in this ball. And don't worry, like, because it doesn't matter how much we put in here, because we're going to give it all to God. All right, so just continue on expanding that ball of energy. Okay. So I'm going to put, I have a little bit of doubt lately in a situation. And I have some pain in my hip that I'm going to throw in here. I have some lower back pain. I have some motivation that I need because I want to lose some inches. So I'm gonna throw that in here. I'm gonna throw my doubt, my laziness. I'm gonna throw that in here too. All right, and once you've got all your stuff in this ball, just imagine like you're gonna just give it to God. Like you're just like, so what's coming forward right now is like the tube at the bank, and it just goes. So picture that right now. You're putting all that into that ball, and you're gonna put it in that tube. And it's gonna go straight to the divine, and the divine is gonna take care of it because that does not need to burden us. Okay? All right. Okay, I'm gonna give mine to God. Take a deep breath. When you exhale, I want you to imagine like this energy and all the stuff that you put in it is going to go straight to the divine. You can do that when you're having like you need like a question, or you need to get rid of some anxiety. That is a great tool to use for centering. Great. How's everybody feeling after that? It's kind of nice, isn't it? Set on a Sunday, you want to set out your week in a good positive way. Feel a little lighter? Do ya? Feel a little lifted and lighter? I know I do. All right, back to the book. Boundaries. And we're going to talk a lot about, going to go more into detail about forgiveness and really asking yourself some hard questions about boundaries. So I'm going to go backwards a little bit to page 126. There'll be homework tonight. So if you don't have the book, which is okay, I'm going to list, I'll give you plenty of time to get your notebook and to write down the questions. So, boundaries play an essential role in promoting and preserving self-respect. The decision to build boundaries is an act of self-love, as choosing to do so honors your worth and dignity. While this is a worthwhile task for people in general, the parameters to protect yourself tend to vary from person to person. As you reflect on your unique boundaries, it is important to devise strategy suited to uphold your needs. I also highlighted being responsible for your own behaviors. That is huge, folks. Get out of that blame game. You know, if you follow me on here, you know that I talk about nothing is a coincidence, that everything happens for a reason. And I use the example, like you're going to work and you get a flat tire. Well, why did you get that flat tire? Well, has your tire been kind of shoddy and and you just haven't been taking the precautions and you haven't been doing your car care, and so now you were late to work, and maybe something happened at work where there was like an accident on like closer to work. So everything is like synchronized and everything happens for a reason. Even some of the things that we think are negative at the time, like the flat tire and now you're late to work. But maybe if you were at that certain place where that accident was a minute before that, you would have been in the accident. I don't know why that came to me about boundaries, but it'll come back to me. I'm sorry. So like the blame game, and that's what we're talking about. So instead of blaming like all this stuff that's happening, and really stop using the word I can't and using the negative content. I try to reverse anything that I get in my head about, okay, this sucks. So I try to say, this is challenging me to explore my full potential. Because if something sucks, you're struggling with it, you haven't, maybe you don't know, have the skills, or this is something new for you, or it's just something that is difficult for you to do. Maybe it triggers something. Maybe it you have somebody that is hard to deal with, and which, great topic because we're talking about boundaries. So, lose the blame game. Everything happens for a reason. And once you start looking at it that way, you, by default, you'll start making better decisions, because you'll realize that when you stop complaining about things, that it's almost like you kind of appreciate the shitty things that happen in your life, just because you are able to realize, hey, what was the message? What was the lesson? What can I do differently? Like, it's that simple. Like, everything is connected and everything happens for a reason. So sometimes the answers aren't there. There's a lot of things that have happened 2 years ago, and I'm glad I journal. Please journal, because it might be very helpful. There are things that have happened to me in the past that I have journaled, and that I've actually been able to reflect on, having them written down, and I can go, oh my God, like, that makes so much sense today. So that's why you'll hear me talk about journaling. All right. We talked about the boundary boxes: emotional, physical, social, intellectual, sexual, mental, spiritual, and individual. Did we say spiritual twice? No, we didn't. Okay. So there's like boundary boxes. The many hats we wear. I gotta keep to my notes. Page. Talked about that. Okay. I just want to reiterate on page 136. Assertiveness is a self-loving quality in which you recognize your worth and advocate yourself. It is a skill that allows you to confidently and respectfully affirm your needs without crossing the fine line into aggressiveness. I like to call this encouragement with kindness. So it's not really discipline, and it's not really reprimanding or scolding. It's encouraging them with kindness, because in the end, the person that you might be expecting this out of them, they're going to do what they're going to do based on how they make their decisions in life. I have been kind of working on patience lately, because there's a certain situation in my life that I have to be extremely patient for, because I cannot speed up this person's healing any faster. And I want to get to like the next level of our relationship, but I can't, because it's his speed, it's his journey, it's his healing, and I have to just heal on my own. I don't know why the lights are flickering. It's weird. So on page 38, tips to build better boundaries. Be prepared. When your boundaries are tested, it is important to avoid reacting impulsively. That's where this comes in handy. That's where this just taking like step away from the situation. If you know that you're going to be, say you're at a wedding and there are going to be certain people that you just can't avoid. They'll either be sitting at your table, or they'll be coming up to you asking, questions. And you just, so be prepared, like really allow yourself to be in control of your emotions. And we need protection, but then we don't need protection, because of protection, we have the ability to be powerful than those energies that want to intimidate us or want to suck our energy. All right. So when you're talking about protection, you can bring your spirit guides in, but please remember that we have the ability to be more powerful than the energy that wants to attack us. Does that make sense? So be prepared, be clear. It can be helpful to brainstorm what you plan to say by writing key components or practicing what you hope to say out loud. As you continue on your journey and as you continue on your self-love path, asking yourself the boundaries it'll become easier, because you'll have been experiencing things that have worked with different situations, and you will be able to reflect, hey, I remember when this happened with this person. Maybe I could implement what happened with this person because it actually worked with this other situation. So just start exploring and start practicing different ways of navigating in and, around certain people that are difficult to deal with. Be respectful. There's that encouragement, kindness. Be calm, kind, attentive, and open to the process. Be positive. It can be intimidating to take a stance from your boundaries. Nevertheless, it is a positive, self-loving act. Be optimistic that you have the power to influence the process and can maintain compassion for the person who crossed your boundaries along the way. With that in mind, release responsibility for how the person reacts and take accountability for how you present yourself. I want to talk about this because this gets a lot of disagreement. When you say, so let's say somebody was rude to you in a line and you're getting coffee, and they were rude to you. You did absolutely nothing to provoke them or to influence the way that they treated you. They might be going through some shit as well. I talked about that in a couple other lives. Like, there's probably someone out there that is going through the exact same emotion that you are. So if you react, maybe that person that you're reacting to just so happens to be going through the same thing. And would you want to be treated that way if you were going through something and somebody treated you that way? No, I don't think so. So what gets a bad rap is when we want to like give back that nastiness, the rudeness. And that's just giving away your positivity. You're giving away your power to protect yourself so that you don't, so that it doesn't bother you. And you don't know what they're dealing with. So just take a breath and decide, okay, this is a total stranger. I just want to get my coffee and get out of here. And maybe if I just smile at them or let them get ahead of you in line, obviously what they're dealing with at that very moment, and even though you don't know it, obviously for them to react that way, they're going through something that, it deserves a little more compassion at that point. It's very hard. It's still hard for me because I'm like, that is so rude. Like, why do people just, why are they rude? Well, maybe, chances are they're probably going through something, but as you practice, you can be that, I want to say better, but you can choose to be better for yourself. You can react in a way that's better for you. That's what I mean by be the better person. Be the better person that's better for you. And some people will complain and they'll say, well, that person made me mad. No, you get to choose how you react to situations. And they'll be like, hello, Renee. And then the other person will be like, well, I was just supposed to like let them walk all over me. No, that's where boundaries come in. And sometimes, not saying anything is a pretty good response, and no is a full sentence. So we can choose how we are going to react when those kind of negative behaviors happen to us. And as you experiment and you explore and you do them more and more, and you walk away from comments or conflicts or situations or people for that matter, and you're like, oh, like, they're so upset and I could have reacted very differently, but I chose not to. And now I can go about my day and it feels good. It actually feels good to not like let that stupid shit, bother you. And it's all practice, choosing and then practicing to keep choosing. Be flexible. Being assertive means protecting your boundaries without stubbornly ignoring the views of the other person. Ideally, both parties show respect, accountability, and responsibility. Be persistent. In some instances, the person who tested your boundaries may continue to step over your limits. When this happens, it is important for you to be consistent, firm, and grounded in your self-respect. It is possible that you may need to escalate your intensity to appropriately reinforce your boundary, but this can be a tricky process. Sometimes when we need to express the intensity, that takes practice. It really does. That takes a lot of skill. People that are in, say, sales or retail that are constantly dealing with people, or what's like the calls, like call centers. I feel so sorry for those folks, but you really have to like keep your tone to a minimum. You can sound firm, but still remember, encourage with kindness. And then if it comes right down to it, you have to ask yourself, maybe I need to remove myself from this relationship. Okay. So moving on to the last part, because I do still want to pull some cards. So I've got a couple pages that I want to go through. So improving your self-support system. So there's a little bit of homework, so get out your notebooks, because this is where we're going to talk about forgiveness. Improving your self-support system. I wrote down, where is this? Give me a minute. Okay, so the homework is, so if you write this question down, give yourself like a couple lines. So write down what qualities are important to you in a healthy relationship. And I would go as far as 10, maybe there's more. So the question is, write that down. What qualities are important to you in a healthy relationship? And then skip a couple lines or 10 lines. And then write down, consider the healthy relationships you have. Or consider, okay, scratch that. So the relationships what qualities are important to you in a healthy relationship. So now look at your relationships, and I'm not going to say unhealthy, but I'm going to say that need improvement, that have the ability to improve. Write down some of those things and those relationships and what needs to be improved in those two things. So what do you like in your current healthy relationships, your helpful relationships, and then what could be improved in the relationships? And so once you figure out, like, those are kind of like yeses and nos, and once you kind of figure out what you have in some relationships that works for you, it's easy to realize what you don't have in other relationships. But it's by practicing gratitude, you realize what's missing. Okay. List similar qualities that you desire and appreciate. And here is where we talk about forgiveness. This is how we can make those relationships that need a little bit of attention and a little bit of care. Before you rule out ending a relationship or setting a really strict boundary, there are things to do before you get there. So the first thing, and you know, if you've been watching me, that I promote forgiveness. I do a couple forgiveness ceremonies throughout the year, and this is a great time to write a forgiveness letter to yourself. This is a super, with the energies being so ramped in this Lionsgate portal, it's a great opportunity for forgiveness letters. Go to the video from Tuesday, because I talk about many things to do during this time, and one of them is like a gratitude letter, and there was a forgiveness letter. So start out by writing. Think about something that you really want to let go and that you would like to forgive yourself for. Forgiveness starts within. If you can't forgive yourself, you will possibly struggle with forgiving others. And maybe it goes, I was corrected, maybe it goes like with the people pleaser, like you are always kind of forgiving others, but then, you know, you're giving others like the ability to forgive, and you give them a second chance, but you're always downing yourself. You know, you're not giving yourself the time that you're giving to that person. You need to forgive yourself, and also give yourself some grace. So by giving others grace, you know, realize that, you know, you deserve grace too. The struggle to forgive is a common obstacle. Believing that you have done something wrong can help you stay stuck in the past. This may include things that you regret saying, doing, or failing to follow through. Feelings of shame can quickly spiral into inferiority, inadequacy, and can hinder your self-love. In order to move forward, we must learn to forgive. Forgiveness is not to be confused with condoning, ignoring, minimizing, or supporting, but simply a promise to learn and grow. Write that down. Forgiveness is simply a promise to learn and grow. It's, hey, I screwed up and I feel horrible, whatever. But the true authenticity of being sorry and forgiving is asking yourself, why did this happen? How did I let it happen? What's my responsibility? How can I make this right? What have I learned? How do I want to move forward? And how can I prevent this from happening in the future? So there's homework in here about choosing an example and follow the prompts below. I am sorry that, and then write what you're sorry for. And then you can go one step further and put, I own that I. So this is taking your responsibility. In the future, I plan to. This is the lesson. This is the lesson that was learned. And in the future, I hope. So just those things that I just talked about, I hope. And, you know, this is almost like manifesting. So there's one step further that I want to go into after the forgiveness. And I think I've talked about this before, but I want to go into a little more detail in it tonight. And it's called the cord cutting technique. Because sometimes forgiving someone or forgiving yourself or forgiving someone sometimes, and setting the boundaries might not be enough. And And there are ways to emotionally cut an emotional cord, like say an ex. There are, even though you're related to someone, you can still kind of cut an energy cord, I want to call it, so that it kind of creates its own protection for you. So that when you are around this person, that friction, that your energies, because of course, if there's a conflict that hasn't been resolved, or just them forgiving, just you forgiving them kind of feels still stuck because you have to be with them in the physical. That's where cord cutting works. I had to do this. There was a certain person that I forgave, and it just wasn't enough for me. And to set myself at peace of mind, that I just didn't want that energy. I just didn't want that energy tied to our relationship anymore. I did like a cord cutting. There's ways to envision it through like self-guided on YouTube, or you can just Google it if you want to like do a cord cutting writing technique. But what I like to do is I like to go in a meditative kind of state of mind and picture the person and the memory and the emotion and the relationship. And then I imagine there's like a cord, a tether. And some of them might be, depending on the relationship, if there's like a sexual connection, and maybe it's maybe many layers of this cord. Sometimes it'll take longer, like in a meditative state, to kind of unravel and unwind, kind of like an onion, if we have those layers. And what I like to do is I like to cut it and tell the person that I either was sorry, if that's the way it goes, or I forgive you, and I wish you well. And this energy, this energy that we are tethered together, no longer exists for us. I wish you well. I wish the best. And it's kind of like shaking their hand at the end of like I'm sure if you've left a job, you've have to do that, like that exit interview, or that exit interview. And it's where you kind of, just kind of say goodbye for that last time. And then what I like to do even more is I like to burn that cord. And I bring in my dragons and I start burning, up to up to where they meet, and just like cut it. And I like to burn it, and to make sure like it just, you stay over there and I'm going to stay over here. And hopefully, if you have to engage with these people or see them again, that the energy is just neutral, and it doesn't kind of go one way or the other. It's just neutral. It's very civil. It's very a civil energy. So that's that for chapter 7. I'm going to read the last page of 144. Read in conclusion, it says, self-respect begins with your recognition of your worth and is seen by how you honor your worth. It is not entitlement or aggression, but the realization that you are just as deserving of dignity as anyone else. In this chapter, we were able to connect with ourselves by bringing full awareness to the values you wish to embody in this lifetime. To live life filled with integrity, you must create boundaries to allow you to maintain a connection with your ethical code, your soul contract. Through the many roles that you fulfill, your respect can shine through your ability to connect to who you are. In addition to humble acts such as attuning to your self-awareness, fostering forgiveness, and maintaining balance. And that's like maintaining balance is maintenance. Okay, I really enjoyed this chapter. The next chapter that we will talk about is chapter 8, and that is self-growth. Basically, what I think this chapter is going to do, because it is the last chapter, it's going to probably reiterate, whatever that word is, recap what we've learned thus far. So I'm just going to read off some of the chapters. So we're going to talk about hopes and dreams, vision boards, visualization, a 30-day self-love challenge, self-growth challenge, my self-growth map, recognizing obstacles, handling setbacks, stages of change, ready, set, go, learned lessons, who supports your self-growth, giving and growing, paying it forward, continue learning, and mental health counseling. I could basically, this is very interesting. What just came forward right now is like I could do one of these like every week and then we pull cards. So we could be drawing this out for another, I don't know, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 weeks if we wanted to really get down deep and dirty. So we'll see. We'll see, because each one, like the hopes and dreams, is only 1 page. But you know me, I like to get chatty. Let's pull some cards, folks. So I'm going to pull, I have 3 decks, but yes, I have 3 decks. That's what I was questioning. And then I want to show you guys something that some stuff I've been working on that I want to sell. I'm going to make it for sale. Okay. So I'm going to pull cards. I'm going to shuffle. And the first question that I'm going to ask the cards, really turn on my intuition, turn on that line of communication from source, is what can the collective do this next week to focus on that self-respect for the collective? What is one thing that the cards are going to tell us that should be worked on? It's important to work on this week as the collective. I'm going to shuffle one more time. I'm going to knock 3 times and I'm going to pull the first card. Oh, well, this is follow through with the Lionsgate portal. Gratitude is the life force of peace. Here we go. And the number is 41. 4 plus 1 is 5, if that resonates with you. So the question is, what are you thankful for? So we talked a lot about the Lionsgate portal this week. And because we've been talking about the self-love, I feel this is appropriate for what, for the book that we've been working on, because there's a lot of pink and a lot of roses. And she's, if you can't tell, she has, like, there's wings, if you can see it. And so she's just kind of allowing herself, she's got a smile, she's got her eyes closed, she's just going in and just allowing herself to be grateful for that very moment that she's in right now. And that can help all of us, is just when you feel lost, sad, depressed, kind of flip it, whatever situation it is, and ask yourself, well, in this moment, I don't want to feel that way. So how can I feel better right now? And ask yourself, what can I be grateful for in this very moment, right now? Right now. I actually did this Friday night. If you are from this area, there was a huge storm that went through. It was very scary. I was not here. I was in a hall with no basement, basically on the top of a hill for a wedding, bridal shower. And my husband and my son were home, and they were in the basement. They are not scaredy cats, and it must have been bad enough that they had to go in the basement. So after it was over, and we're all like looking at our cars, and we're all talking to our spouses and calling home, and because it happened very fast. There was whoever was there was not aware that this like storm was coming through. So everybody was calling their phones and looking on Facebook and seeing all the damage. And I just was able to, and even during the storm, I was like, I'm going to be okay. I really feel like I'm going to be okay. And I was just grateful, like, okay, this storm is going to bring some rain. We really need the rain. And then when it was over, I was just grateful that my car didn't get hail damage, and that everybody was okay. That there was a lot of other damage to other houses, but I was just grateful that my house didn't get damaged. I was grateful that everybody was okay. I was grateful that nobody got hurt, that needed to come to the shower. And just nobody got hurt in general. But, and if there was things that did happen, like if there was damage or anything, it's like, okay, there is damage, but thankfully nobody got hurt. I didn't hear of anybody getting hurt in this. There was a lot of damage, material damage. So yes, that's my interpretation of this card. So you have that. Let's read from the book. And then I'm going to pull one more card. And then we'll sign off. I don't like to do this more than an hour. In times of great uncertainty, go inward to find what is certain within you. Feeling good is most important, and developing a daily practice to help you connect to calm is a priority right now. Creating a daily routine that includes focusing on what you appreciate in life will help you connect to peace and lead you to joy. The fastest way to happiness and peace is to be thankful for what you have. Gratitude is the life force of everything. This is so true, guys. I mean, it's so cliche, like, oh, practice your gratitude. Yeah, it does work. When things don't go well, it can be easy to fall into doubt, blame, and thoughts of separation. Return yourself to appreciation and repeat, all is well. So let's add that to it when we're doing your energy. When you're doing your energy, when you are giving it to God, like do the mantra, like all is well, all is well, all is well. And then just like give all that, the stuff that's not serving you to God, and then be grateful that what you do have. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, I'm going to pick from a different deck. And then I want to show you guys I made a bunch of bracelets. And I would like to offer them to you guys. Oh, I don't want that book. I'm going to do this one, The Messenger. Okay? And I will show you my bracelets that I made, because I made a ton of them and I'm going to sell them. Okay, so the question, let's take this one step further. what's after gratitude? What else can we practice on that will help us with our self-respect? Setting boundaries. Help forgiveness. Letting go. Cutting the cord. I'll do it one more time. Oops. Oops, oops. And Lorena, if you're still watching, you won the discounted service for July, so you have 60 days to redeem that. Love that you are different. Okay, so this goes along with the gratitude. Love that you are different. And it's 25, 2 plus 5 is 7. I really got to work on my opposite here. Can you guys see it? Love that you are different. So we asked about gratitude and then how can we set better boundaries. So loving that you are different is accepting that you're not perfect and that we were not made to be perfect. We were designed with free will to choose, to fail, to learn, to grow, and to be able to make better decisions going forward. And by embracing who you are at your core, and not who you're trying to be for someone or trying to be somebody you're not, like embracing that you don't have to do that. Realize that you don't have to do that. That doesn't serve you. Your goals, you know, some of your goals will not be met if you continue to like live in a facade. And he's definitely different. This, whatever this is, this, I say bunny rabbit, but he's different. He's kind of cool looking. I like his difference. He can be on my team. I like different. When I picked out a cat, oh, this was a long time ago. We were picking out a cat. I wanted a cat. And it was just a farm cat. And I got like the pick of the litter. And there was one that had like a bent tail. And I'm like, I want that tail. I want that cat because he's going to have character. He's going to have strength because something happened either in birth or in his development, you know, why he has that little defect or deformity. And yeah, so I chose that cat, the misfit. All right, let's read from the book. You have strengths and weaknesses, and both are worthy of love. Know them, honor them, and do not heed those who tell you that you must change in order to fulfill their expectation of you. You will never be who others expect you to be. You can only be the unique individual you are meant to be. Love that you are different, for it is your differences and loving those differences that make you truly beautiful. I like this part. Know them, honor them, and do not heed those who tell you that you must change in order to fulfill their expectation of you. That's powerful. Do not heed those who tell you that you must change in order to fulfill their expectation of you. All right, folks. I want to show you my awesome bracelets. Maybe I can mail these. I was corrected. Yes, I will mail them for the fee. All right, so I'm making these bracelets, you guys. These are the wrap bracelets. And I have all different colors. I have wood beads now. I've got some lava beads that I can add to different bracelets. I have stretchy cord if you don't like the wrap bracelets. So this one's pink. This one's pink. I think I want to take pictures and show everybody. This one's pink. Okay. This one is not a stretch. It's one of those like charm bracelets. So it's kind of stiff and it's a little bit bigger on your wrist. But you can like, I don't know if I want to take this off, but it's like the charm bracelets where you take this ball off and you can add charms to it. So that's how I made these. So that one's like black and silver. Then we've got a gold. We've got a gold and blue. There's blue. Okay. Here's another short one. It's not really a wrap, but it's just like, I call it like a wrap and a half. Here's another brown and, brown and cream and orange, a little copper color. This is not a wrap. This is one of those charm ones, so it's a little tougher. This one I like. It's like boho colors. It's got reds, greens, all different shapes of beads. And each bracelet has a charm on it. This one says made with love, and then it also has like another charm. This one is another, it's pink and white. It's got a little bit of black. This is one of those tougher, and it's got a little heart charm on it. This one I just made this weekend. It's got turquoise and red and some tiger's eye and a charm. Oh, can you see it? The charm. It's got tiger's eye, so it's got like reds. This is a wrap. This one I really like. This is turquoise, and it's got some different colors on it. So it's got like red beads, turquoise, and cream colored wooden beads. This one I really like. This one's pretty much all wood beads. It's got like oranges and a little bit of cream and a silver little, we call those like boats, a boat wheel. Then this one is silver, and it's like got blues and more black and silver. It's kind of a variety. It's got silver, orange, blue, a little bit of red beads. And then I have this one. This one's, the charm on that one was the heart. I can change the charm if you guys want these and you want the charm changed. I can just let me know, give me a couple ideas. This one is really cool because I bought a bunch of charms from Temu, and this one I made specifically. I started with the avocado, and it's more greens and a couple blues and golds and blacks. So that one would look really cool with like green. And then here's another turquoise one. I just made this one. So this one's got turquoise. It's like the bluer turquoise, kind of like the ocean turquoise, and less green. So it's more blue than green. And it's got some white beads and some blue. And the charm is, it's like a little, what is it, like a sparrow? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So these are $10. And it'll probably be 15 or 16 with shipping. Okay? So, oh gosh, I do have more. Hang on, folks. I have this one. This is all browns, but it's a wrap around. It's got browns. This one I just got done making today. This one has all the colors of the chakra. So I started out with red. So it goes red, orange, yellow, then green, then blue. We got purple, and then I ended it with white, of course, the divine. And then the charm is not a charm, but it's like a crystal. So that's a wraparound. This one I made, this is purple. So it's got purple and silver and a little bit of black. And the charm is a purple flower. I think that's it. Yeah. So I have all these guys. So, and if you don't like any of these that I showed you, reach out to me. I have wooden beads now. I have some that are crystals, you know, that are authentic. But most of these are just, you know, plastic, glass beads. But reach out to me. I also have, I can make earrings to match, of course. And I also have stretchy. So if you do not want this part like this, I can make you stretchy. I like these for selling because this accommodates to almost like all wrists. If you get the stretchy, sometimes they're either too big or too small. All right, folks. So thanks for watching. And let's see, Wednesday, we might have a live this week. I'm not sure what it's going to be about. But next Sunday, we will not be doing the workbook because we are moving Jack into the dorm for school. So see you on Wednesday. But we will go back to the Self Love book in 2 Sundays. All right. Have a good night, folks. Thanks for watching. Love you all.